Hey, good morning. It's Mark here with another morning rant. It's Friday. You made it. Be blessed. Be thankful that you're still here. It is 4:27. Let's get into some news real quick. Of course, we all know that Russia has attacked Ukraine or has invaded Ukraine. I told you guys a couple of days ago the the history behind what Russia is doing. Rachel Maddow said something real poignant yesterday. I just saw it this morning, and she talked about how Russia needs Ukraine to be poor because Russia is poor. She said that Russia, and I can go look at the GDPs of nations, the gross domestic product. And I wasn't planning on doing this. So when you look at GDPs of nations, and this is not accurate. Let me take you here. When you look at GDPs of nations, of course, United States, 19 trillion dollars in GDP. United States, China, Japan, Germany, India, United Kingdom, France, Brazil. So you're wondering, well, where's Russia? Russia is a large country. Russia takes up like 10% of the world's land. Where's their GDP? We're 19 trillion. China's 12 trillion. Japan's 4 trillion. Where's Russia? Russia is down here. Did I pass it? Russia is number 11 with 1.5 trillion. Their GDP is 1.5 trillion. Donald Trump gave away 1.5 trillion in tax breaks to the rich. That that shows in comparison that's their GDP. So Russia is not a rich country. And so they have to keep the countries around them just as poor because they used to be Russian states. And Russian people can't look at former Russian states and say, wow, these people are living under a democracy and they're doing a lot better than what you're doing. So that's what she was trying to correlate. Well, anyway, let's get back into some more history because Tucker Carlson on Fox Entertainment, he's going in on Lindsey Graham. Now, I don't like Lindsey Graham at all. He's a two-faced, sniveling little coward. He bounces from sponsor to sponsor. That's right. That's a good word for it. Lindsey Graham, right here, the one who's like he's about to pucker up and kiss somebody's ass right now. He bounces from sponsor to sponsor. When he came into the Senate, he leached on to John McCain. When John McCain died, he leached on to Donald Trump. And he's still sucking on Donald Trump until he can find somebody else to leech on. That's what Lindsey Graham does. And he bounces between Donald Trump and whomever. But Tucker Carlson here, who's a commentator on Fox Entertainment, he's been talking about Russia and propping up Russia and saying, hey, why are we not friends with Russia? Because Donald Trump is propping up Russia. And he goes on to say that he's upset about Lindsey Graham's comments on Russia. What did Lindsey Graham say? He said that the footage concluded with a clip of Graham saying, "My point to people here at home is you can expect gas prices to go up, you can expect food prices to go up, and all I can tell you from history, anytime we sit silent and watch the rights of one group be eviscerated, it's just a matter of time before it comes back to haunt us." What did I tell you guys the other day? I told you every time the United States tries to ignore international relations, war happens. It always bites us in the butt, and we always end up getting involved. We always end up getting involved. I told you, go back to the Quasi War, go back to the War of 1812, and all these other different wars to include World War I and II. Every time this country stays silent and says, hey, that's over there. We're protected by the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. It's not going to come here. Every time we say we're not going to be involved in an international conflict, it always comes back to bite us. And Tucker Carlson got mad at that because it seems like he's siding with the Biden administration on sanctioning Russia. I told my son this the other night. He was asking about what was going on. And I told him, I said, hey, life is one large high school. Life is one large high school. If you want to look at it like, if you want to just break it down to the lowest common denominator, life is just like high school. You got people trying to be cool. You got the jocks. You got the nerds. You got the socialites. You got all these different kind of factions around in life, and your job is to navigate these factions. All right. You got the rich kid that has the car and the jewelry and the girl, and then you have the guy that's not so well off, riding a bike to school with a little 9 to 5. Let's say you and your friends decide to go to a party. You and your friends decide to go to a party, and you don't really want to be at the party. I mean, you're just going. It's a chance for you to get out, for you to meet some new people, and just do something different. But you really don't want to go, especially with this crowd. You just don't want to be there, but you go anyway. Well, there's one person in that crowd that's you just know gonna start some stuff, and you're like, man. So once you get to the party, y'all having a good time, everybody vibing, and having a good time, and then all of a sudden, someone breaks a glass, and one of the guys in your group is beefing with a guy from another group. You have a choice to make. You can either stay there and help defend your guy and look like a stand-up guy, or you can decide to walk away, go home, and be considered weak, a punk, lame, whatever. So when they get to tussling, everything seems to be cool. It's a one-on-one fight. These guys, but your friend is short in stature, not that big, and probably gonna lose this fight. The other guy's like this tall guy, muscular, and he may kick your guy's butt. And your guy is counting on you and all your other friends to help him out. And so you got a choice to make. And that's where if you get into this fight, it's going to be all out chaos, and you're probably going to win the fight, but it's going to be all out chaos. But that's what's going on right now. Ukraine is on our side, and we don't want to go to the party. Ukraine is going to be there. Russia going to be there, and they just going to be beefing. So when your guy in Russia starts to get into it, it's like, well, damn, man, I can't look like no punk. I gotta protect my friend. And so that's where we are. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to navigate this problem. We're trying to navigate this situation. We don't want to get into a fight, but we don't want to look weak on the international stage. So how do we play this game? So that's where politics come into play. And you deal with politics on a regular basis. Don't ever think that your life is not involved in politics, because you deal with intrigue and word of mouth and scandal at your job, with your friends, in your life. You deal with this stuff, and you have to politic your way around it. And you hear that in the streets all the time. Hey man, they over there politicking and they parlaying and they trying to figure this thing out. So it wouldn't be every time you watch a TV show created by 50 Cent, or you watch a show created by Tyler Perry, these guys are utilizing the 48 laws of power, which is back here somewhere. They're utilizing the 48 laws of power. They're utilizing the art of war, and they're just trying to politic their way out of a situation. And sometimes that situation ends up in a conflict. So that's what's going on. And going back, just like Lindsey Graham said, and I don't trust Lindsey Graham no fault I can throw him. But again, if you have to be mindful, if America that ignores what's going on in Ukraine. Now, we may not send troops. We may have troops stationed around because President Biden has been clear. We're not going to have troops in Ukraine. I will put a caveat to that. Excuse me, because things may pop off and he may have to go against that word. So I'm not going to hold him to that. But right now he's saying that there will be no troops in Ukraine fighting Russia. So that means he got strategic positions around Ukraine that can help Ukraine fight Russia, because he's already at the capital. Now, he already said, Russia said that, hey, we're just going to go in as a peacekeeping mission to these two provinces. But he's now bombing as close as the Russian capital, the Ukrainian capital. So he's pulling his playbook straight from Hitler. More so Hitler than Manifest Destiny, and I talked about that in a couple of videos ago. So that's what's in a broken down Barney style kind of way, a layman kind of way. That's what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine, and let me correct myself. I kept saying North Atlantic Trade Organization is North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The treaty is that all these guys, if you attack one, you attack all. And Ukraine is becoming more democratized than it is communized. Okay? Because Russia is a communist country, but they're run by a dictator. So it's more like an oligarchy, because all the rich people get to dictate and control what's going on in Russia. So because these people are doing so well and may side with NATO, Russia don't like that. They don't want a NATO-backed country on their border. So that's why this is going on. So, so Fox Entertainment, Tucker Carlson is getting mad because Donald Trump support Russia, and so Fox News is supporting Russia, and so Tucker Carlson is supporting Russia, and he thinks all GOPers, all Republicans should support Russia. But being a politician, Lindsey Graham is saying, hey, you guys be ready, because these guys are our friends, and we may impose sanctions that may hurt us too, but it's going to be more devastating to Russia than it ever will to be to us. So be prepared for higher. You think the gas prices are higher now? When they started bombing, and we don't control, the president does not control gas prices. Anytime you hear about the gas prices getting high, you can't blame the president for that. It's a supply and demand thing. And OPEC pretty much set those prices. OPEC in the stock market, and that's a whole other story. But you got to look at the world in a larger context. And when gas prices go up and food prices go up, that's because we're imposing sanctions on trade with this country, and we're trying to block them from using their money. Just the other day, Russia had a meeting with all his rich people, business owners and billionaires, to let them know, hey, your business is going to be fine. Because he has to do that, because he knows that those sanctions are going to hurt their businesses, and those guys can team up and say, hey, Putin, fix your shit. So that's what's going on. And if you stayed this long, hey, I appreciate it. Again, some changes are going to be made soon, so be prepared for that. I may do a video Monday. Not sure if I'll do a video this weekend. It all depends on what happens with Russia and Ukraine. But look to see me Monday, if not Tuesday, and I will holler at you guys later. Y'all take care. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your Friday. I'm out.